Well, hello everyone and welcome to Connect Groups. So this past Sunday was a Vision Sunday where we talked about the future of our church and also the part we play in that future. So I'm not going to really recap the future of our church because you heard all that information as we discussed the new building and how that's going to impact our ministries. But what I want to talk about is the part that we play. All throughout biblical history, there's been a consistent theme, and that is each one of us is called to do our part consistently. So there isn't typically a season where you are doing your part and then a season where you're not doing a part. What God calls us to is to consistently behave in a certain way. So we consistently love God and we consistently love people. That is just the rhythm of life. Now, each one of our lives go in different directions, and we have different jobs and different roles and responsibilities, but we love God and we love people, and there's some other things that kind of surround that, but that's the basic idea. But then there are seasons where, as a community, we come together and we go above and beyond. These are seasons of generosity. So sometimes that's a generosity of time and talents. Other times that's a generosity of finances. So we are in a season where we're asking for generosity. The truth is, this is really only the second time in our history where we've entered into a season of generosity. There was one time many years ago, 5-6 years ago, where we did a remodel on the building, and we asked for people to generously give of their time and finances, and you responded wonderfully for that. But this is a time where we are going above and beyond as we head into a new season of ministry where we're asking every single person to first begin by doing their basic part, and I'll recap that in a moment, but then we're also asking everyone to go above and beyond and be generous. So here's the basic 5 things that we talked about of doing your part as it relates to the body of Christ, which is our church. Is first, we want you to continue to seek God. This is critical. You have to continually go after God and try to become more like Him. If you don't, then no matter what else you do, our church will suffer. We all have to pursue God. So we pursue God. The second thing is we connect to people. So this is a part of loving God and loving people. We are called to be in relationship. So you being a part of a Connect group. So if you're watching this video, you've done exactly what we've asked you to do. So we want you to love God, love people. Then we want you to also serve. We want you to find a position in our church where you can volunteer and help our church meet the ministry needs and responsibilities that we have. And I'll tell you, our church has enough diversity in responsibilities of things that we have to do that every single person can find a spot that brings fulfillment to their lives. So we have stuff that ranges from hospitality to technically driven stuff to teaching. I mean, there's just everything in between. So we need every single person to love God, love people, and start to serve. Here's the next one. We need financial support. Now, I'm not afraid to say this because, one, it's just a practical reality of ministry. We need the financial support of people in order to operate. We are not government funded by the government. We don't get grants. We survive based on the generous giving of our people. So we want you to begin to financially give. Now, there are deeper biblical principles that I didn't go into Sunday, but you should consistently give, and then as you become more a person of faith and you start to understand the principles of God, there's a principle called tithing, and then that's the beginning point. Then we go deeper and we into generosity. But here's what I would challenge you. Just start giving consistently and financial consistent gifts. So, love God, love people, serve, financially give, and then the last one is you are to be evangelistic. Invite people to church. These are our responsibilities to go into our communities, the lives that we touch, and start to impact their lives by giving them the hope that we have. When people are going through things, it should become a part of our natural dialogue to say to them, I know what you need. You need Jesus. Or if it makes a little bit more sense in the context of the conversation, here's what you need. You need to come to my church. This is something that has impacted my life. They can explain these principles that will change your life. So the 5 things we all consistently do. We have to do these in all seasons of our church. We have to love God. We have to love people. We have to serve. We have to financially give. And we have to invite our friends. That's the consistent responsibility that all of us have. But then also there are seasons of generosity. And in this season, we're asking every single person if they will generously give of their time and talents in serving and generously give in their finances. That means as we go into our new building in 1 year, we are going to need to have all of our volunteer ministries, not just staff, but excessively staffed because we're going to grow and have greater needs, which means there will be a season, I would say between 3 and 6 months, where we're asking people to go above and beyond what they normally do for that season until we can attract new people and start to train them in the ministries of our church. But also we're asking for the next 1.5 to 2 years for people to financially give in a generous and sacrificial way. So we took a pledge of $1.5 million. We will need at least that much to come in, if not more, because we have a big project that we have to accomplish. So here's what I'm challenging all of you. Will you pray about this? As you discuss this as a group, will you discuss the role that you play? Are you doing those 5 things consistently? Are you willing in this season to go above and beyond? The only way this happens is if we all change the priorities of our lives. I realize that is a big ask from us to you, but this is one that's necessary for this season. I promise you, this will not be the pattern of our existence. We don't want to burn out volunteers, and we don't want to just completely suck everyone's money, honestly. We want you to consistently give, but in this season, we want you to be generous. So will you do that? I know you will. I love you. I hope your discussion goes well, and I can't wait to see you this Sunday.